For a consumer, deductibles would make or break an insurance plan. So what all did you find?
Well, President Trump has been very clear throughout the process. His goal is to lower deductibles. One of the things people like the least about the plans under Obamacare is that they often have high deductibles of, say, $3,500 for an individual or $7,000 for a family. But here's the thing. The Senate bill and the House bill before it contain provisions that very specifically raise deductibles. This is actually a goal of the bill in many ways. They have subsidies that are lower and encourage people deliberately to try to get higher deductible plans with individual deductibles of, say, $6,000. But they also, for low-income customers, take away a subsidy that pays for many of the deductibles for these people. Now, the Kaiser Family Foundation did an analysis. For someone making about $18,000 a year right now, they have about a $255 deductible because of these subsidies. But if that Senate bill were to pass, that deductible would go up to $6,000. That's about 24 times as much. So there's just no squaring this with a promise to lower deductibles. It's a core feature of the bill right now.
Well, I'm glad you got to that one because I had that one highlighted and circled and starred. That statistic is quite shocking there. This bill also reduces funding to Medicaid over time. But let's listen now to how Kellyanne Conway defends this. Here it is.
Obamacare took Medicaid, which was designed to help the poor, the needy, the elderly, the sick, the disabled, also children and pregnant women. It took it and it went way above the poverty line and opened it up to many able-bodied Americans who should probably should at least see if there are other options for them.
Okay, so these cuts in the Senate bill, will they not affect the poor?
They absolutely will. Now, there is something to what Kellyanne Conway is saying there. She is correct that one of Obamacare's big features was that it expanded Medicaid to many able-bodied adults making around $16,000 a year as individuals. However, the Senate bill also goes further. Not only does it get rid of that expansion over time, it also grows Medicaid at a much slower rate in the long run, which would absolutely have an effect on, for example, nursing home residents, more than 60% of whom are on Medicaid, on people with disabilities, many of whom are on Medicaid. So the idea that this is just simply rolling back Obamacare's expansion to able-bodied adults just isn't true. This would spend a lot less money on Medicaid over time than current law.
Okay, the requirement to buy insurance. Some Republicans are saying the government should not force people to buy insurance, and the Senate bill apparently eliminates that ACA mandate. But let's listen to what one of the architects of Obamacare, that's MIT professor Jonathan Gruber, told my colleague Thomas Roberts yesterday.
The problem is if you tell insurers they can't say no to people because they're sick, but you let people wait until they're sick to buy insurance, insurers will go out of business. And this is not just some theoretical economic conjecture. 5 states tried this. 5 states tried this experiment. They tried telling insurers you can't discriminate against the sick without the mandate. And in every single state, the insurance market collapsed.
So how does this affect premiums?
So this is a serious problem that Obamacare had one of its most unpopular provisions deal with, which is the individual mandate to buy insurance, which is that if people can just buy insurance when they get sick, there's a good chance a lot of people will deliberately go without insurance until they need it. And that means only people with expensive conditions will maintain insurance at any given moment. That sends premiums flying throughout the roof. And it's very true. In states that tried this before Obamacare, they entered what was called a death spiral, which is where premiums just keep going up higher and higher, where it's only really affordable if you're very sick and you really, really, really need that insurance and can afford those high premiums. Now, bizarrely, the Senate bill didn't include any way to encourage healthy people to get into the system through some kind of penalty. The House bill before it did, by saying if you didn't keep continuous coverage, insurers could charge you more for a pre-existing condition. Now, it's expected by a lot of observers looking at the Senate bill that they will add some kind of penalty, perhaps barring you from buying insurance for a few months if you go without for a while. But as of now, there's nothing in there, which means even a lot of conservative health experts are worried that there could be huge premium increases for people.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.